A promising young basketball star, a courtroom packed with tension, and a judge with the power to decide whether his future would be on the court or behind bars. What happened next left the courtroom stunned. The teen looked in disbelief and then dropped to the floor when he realized his freedom was gone. This is the story of Tony Farmer, a rising talent whose basketball dreams collided with the reality of the justice system. Tony Farmer wasn't just any high school athlete. He was one of the top basketball prospects in the country. He was supposed to be the next big thing. But one night, Tony made a series of decisions that would forever change his trajectory. An altercation with his girlfriend escalated, and it didn't end there. Not only was there physical harm, but investigators uncovered disturbing text messages and threatening behavior that painted a much darker picture. What looked at first like a rising star's mistake quickly turned into a serious criminal case, and no amount of basketball talent could erase the evidence. When Tony walked into court, many believed he'd be given a second chance. After all, he was young. He had a future. His relatives even pleaded for leniency. Even the victim expressed a willingness to forgive.
I don't know what was wrong with him that day. I know he was a good person. I hope he still is. I hope he learns from this. He really needs help. I don't think jail will give him that.
But this judge was different. She was unwavering, determined to enforce the law and to send a clear message. Talent does not exempt you from accountability. Tony Farmer stood before the judge, confident that his talent and charm could sway the outcome. Some would say he believed himself untouchable, a young man who thought the world was his for the taking. But there was one thing Tony overlooked. The judge had seen everything, not just the footage, but also the text messages and threats, and she wasn't about to let him walk free. The moment of truth arrived. The courtroom went silent as the judge began reading the sentence. The words hit like a thunderbolt. Tony's face froze in disbelief. His body gave way under the weight of reality. The once celebrated star dropped to the floor, stunned and broken.
In case 562027, that the defendant shall serve a term of 3 years, which is the minimum on count 1 of that. As to count 2 in that case, felonious assault, a felony of the 2nd degree, it is ordered that the defendant shall serve a term of 2 years in prison on that count. As to count 3 of that case, the robbery, which is also a felony of the 2nd degree, the court orders that the defendant shall serve a term of 2 years on that count as well. I haven't finished yet. I haven't finished.
Tony. It's not as bad as you think it is. Come on.
On the sole count of the indictment in case 564206, the felony of the 3rd degree, the court orders that the defendant shall serve a term of 9 months in prison on that count. All of these terms are going to be served concurrently, which means that the defendant is, in effect, going to spend 3 years in prison. As part of your sentence, Mr. Farmer, you are subject upon your release from prison to a period of post-release control to be supervised by the adult parole authority. On the felony of the 1st degree conviction, this is mandatory and is for a period of 5 years. On the felony 2 convictions, that is felonious assault and robbery, this is a mandatory term and is for a period of 3 years. And on the intimidation of a crime victim, this is for a period of up to 3 years and is discretionary on the part of the adult parole authority.
This was a moment that would be replayed and shared for years, not for his skills on the court, but for the collapse that symbolized the end of his dreams.
The opportunities that were lost, I would just say that he lost them. He certainly threatened her or said that he should have done something more to her. And so that, in addition to what I saw on the tape, was very telling to me. And it was a violation of the no contact order that was put in place to protect her.
Tony served 3 years in prison. By the time he walked out, his classmates had moved on, his ranking was gone, and the basketball world had turned its attention to the next wave of talent. To his credit, he tried to come back. He played some junior college ball and later overseas, chasing the dream that once seemed inevitable. But the spotlight never fully returned. The NBA was no longer waiting. His story became less about the next superstar and more about wasted potential. Here's where this case hits deeper. In the courtroom, the law doesn't care about your highlight reel. It doesn't care about your ranking or your fan base. What it cares about are your choices. Tony Farmer thought his talent could outweigh his mistakes. He thought the judge would see his potential and let him go. But the courtroom isn't about potential. It's about accountability. And that's why his collapse in court is bigger than just a dramatic moment. It's a symbol of how quickly a life can turn when you underestimate the power of the law. But now I want to hear from you. Do you think it was the judge who shattered Tony Farmer's dreams? Or did Tony destroy his own future with his choices? Should a promising teen athlete be given another chance, or was the sentence the only fair outcome? Drop your thoughts below and click on the next video on your screen for more courtroom moments.